Yeah. All right, everybody, welcome back to another Field of Food Table Talk. It is October 30th, so I guess we're just going to recap our hunting so far this year. Oh, boy. Okay, there we go.
There's a big exchange of eyebrows there. We were like, yeah.
Dane always tells us to crack it before. I waited.
As long as you don't tippy-tap on the table, I don't care. You can do whatever with that Mountain Dew.
Oh, we're still calling that?
Yeah. All right. I guess I've been out quite a bit. You just smacked a doe, so I guess we'll start with you.
Yeah. We want to know.
I've only had it once, so I don't know if you want to start with
Yeah, but you focus
Short story.
on the November,
Yeah.
the nitty-gritty stuff.
That's pretty much my summary right there.
No. Okay.
I've been out once.
I saw a small 8-pointer one time. That's it.
You're welcome.
Is that the one from the front yard pictures you just showed us?
But maybe I'll kill one this weekend.
It's a good weekend for it. Cold front coming in.
Cold front and new moon. New moon hits tomorrow, Friday.
Oh, we're going to talk about the moon in this podcast. All right.
We don't have to. I didn't even step on my toes there.
Raise a hand of who thinks the moon affects deer movement.
Absolutely.
Oh, I am stacked here. Okay.
Oh, you're done.
All right, so I will go off of MSU Deer Labs, all their studies, and who's that guy on
Grant Woods.
Grant Woods. Like, there's no correlation from what they've put out, right? And you guys have seen that stuff, right?
I'm just
I follow Grant Woods. I see a lot. I see all of his stuff.
And you still go with the moon does have an effect.
Man, it seems like every time when that red moon hits, I have the app. My trail cameras are on fire, and it is when I get a big buck, it is within minutes of whenever that red moon app says.
Really?
The time, yeah.
I don't follow the red moon.
That buck I shot last year, like all them times he was in daylight, it was that couple 3-4 day window
during that red moon.
Huh.
Within minutes of when they said, "Hey,
that's crazy.
Here's the best time for deer movement."
I don't follow the red moon.
I don't know if I'm 100% believer, but I think they have.
I mean, you got good. If you're seeing that much,
it does something.
If you're seeing that much,
yeah, I think
in correlation, there's something there.
Yeah.
I don't follow the red moon, but I do. I'm just a firm believer in like with full moon, those deer are probably gonna move at night. The more light, it's easier for them. New moon, probably gonna move more during that last half hour, first half hour of the morning.
I can make that argument.
And then I know guys are like, if the moon is up, the deer are moving. I'm like, okay, well, some days the moon's up at noon, and it's October 3rd. I don't think so, but some people have luck that way. Everyone believes something different.
I know the jurors say if the moon is you still see it in the morning.
Overhead.
Overhead in the mornings, it'll be like a late movement type morning.
Yeah.
I believe that's what they say. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like.
Yeah, because the red moon's like it has to do with overhead and underfoot and all kinds of stuff like that.
I don't know how much it affects it, but I have had a lot of good encounters and a lot of trail camera pictures within minutes or even within the same hour of whenever that moon guide says, hey, this is of nice deer, not a doe walking by in a 4-point. I mean, of big bucks.
Yeah.
In daylight. So I don't know.
I feel like, personally, I don't ever notice a difference, but I also don't pay attention. So it's kind of like, maybe if there is something to it, it's just going over my head. But I would not want to have like a quote-unquote bad moon and be like, moon's not good tonight, guys. I think I'm going to stay home.
No,
I don't. I'm a Scorpio. I can't hunt tonight.
Yeah.
I don't judge if I'm going to hunt based off the moon.
No.
It's just kind of like, I'll be like, well, I know for there's been 4 or 5 occasions where I've killed deer during this time frame of new moons, or I've killed. My mom knows. She's like, you've killed like 7 deer when like the hunter's moon, like that day. She's like, you've killed like 7 deer that day. I'm like, oh, okay. I never really paid attention, but then I started looking back and I was like, oh yeah, like okay, well, hey, I have good luck when the moon's in this phase, and like the new moon is I always seem to have good sets during that like 2 days before to 2 days after that like 4-day span. I think it's just because it's so dark at night, they move a little bit earlier to get to where they want to go to.
Yeah. So
I don't let it dictate if I'm going to hunt or not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like an added benefit or something that maybe
it's almost like it's like
I kind of look at it and it's like, oh, it might not be a bad day, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm big on cold fronts.
Cold fronts.
Like this Friday,
Yeah.
it's a 20-degree, almost 30-degree temperature drop.
Yeah.
I'm taking off work and I'm not gonna hunt.
that makes two.
It's going from 78 to a high of 53, I think. So 25-degree drop.
Yeah.
It should be.
And all weekend looks good, and I haven't hunted all year, so hopefully
You're
if my
itching.
wife's okay with it, I'm gonna hunt this weekend.
That was a big eyebrow.
Yeah, she's got scary eyebrows.
that's
Chicks
what
like,
every woman wants to hear.
She does have nice eyebrows, but she knows how to use them.
chicks like we have 3 kids at home or something. It's a big deal if I go deer hunting.
3 under 4, to be exact.
3 under 4.
3 kids under 4, yeah.
I thought you just said 304. And I'm like, you poor woman.
That's why you got the thing.
Oh,
Yeah. 305 would have been too much to handle. No, I never let the moon dictate anything.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
just
either.
kind of like a.
But it's interesting to.
I'm
look
curious.
at it.
I'm curious. Like, oh well, hey, it's full moon. I wonder if everything else is good. Like, the pressure's good, the wind's right, temperatures are nice, but it's a full moon. And like, there's been you've been out those nights where legal light comes as you're walking out, the moon comes up, and the moon's legitimately casting shadows.
And you'd be like, I could sit in my tree.
Yeah, you're like, but at the same time, I'm like, them deer weren't going to move 20 minutes to dark. They're going to move now.
Yeah.
When I'm getting back to my truck 20 minutes later.
Right.
Because they still, like, I don't even need a flashlight walking out of the woods.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if I don't need one, they don't need one.
Yeah.
Well, they're deer, so they can't really use a flashlight, but I know what you
They
mean.
don't have thumbs. That's the big thing. You can get them a headlamp.
Well, according to our last TikTok that went viral, we put way too much weight in the intelligence of these deer, which I see because it was a clip of what we were talking about. But one of the guys said on the
Is that the one that went viral?
Yeah,
You're talking about?
yeah. There was a guy that said, "You guys are idiots. They're just smart goats." And I was like, I don't like that he called us an idiot, but I like that he called them smart goats. I was like, that's kind of the best way to put it.
Deer's just a smart goat.
So I don't know. Doubtful that the guy who said that on TikTok is watching this, but that was cool, man. Thanks.
Just
All right.
bunch of red meat mutton running around. out in the
So
woods.
back to the topic, because I definitely just derailed that. What are you putting the most weight in? I guess.
Cold fronts and pressure for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the pressure's looking good,
Like up and down on the barometer.
I always seem like out at Dad's. It seems like when the pressure is on the rise, starting right around that 30 mark, and
Yeah.
it's still rising, that's a good evening. And then when it's dropping, it's like it's not really that great.
Yeah.
And I know guys are like, high pressure sucks, like low pressure all day. I'm like, really? Like, I've always had the best luck on high pressure
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
I always go for cold fronts and high pressure.
Yeah.
What about you?
He's learning all this right now, probably.
No, well, the cold fronts, yeah, like I've been doing that, and like I've actually noticed, like where
See
I
more
hunt,
deer
yeah,
movement.
Yeah.
absolutely. Now the pressure thing, what?
Barometric
It
pressure.
usually coincides, though. Like
Yeah.
a cold front would bring in high pressure.
Right.
Well, just a change in system.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, think of it this way: like you need groceries, and you have to walk to the store, and it's going to rain tomorrow. When do you want to go?
Now?
Yeah.
Before the rain.
Yeah. Hunt the front
Or after.
I always like the front edge of the front.
Yeah. That 8-point
get-
last year, front edge of the front.
No.
Yeah. Get it right before the front really starts to hit, and it seems like they're like doing that like last little scurry, like, okay, we got to go get this stuff done real quick.
I also think that I don't think they know what the wind direction's going to be, but I think they can tell that there's a change. So they're betting in a certain area because of a certain wind, and then once that change starts to happen, they kind of move around a lot so they can make that shift for
Yeah.
whatever that next wind betting's going to be.
Now, have you noticed the difference year to year? Like, hey, this spot was really good last year with, like, say, an east wind. And then this year, the next year, it was like east wind. The spot that I'm in, last year, if there was a north wind, it was fire. On fire. This year, north wind, nothing.
Really?
Yep. It dies out with
Yeah,
north
I've
wind.
never
South
noticed
wind,
that.
I had a southeast wind on Monday, and I killed that doe. And I was like, this is terrible. Like, they always bed right up there. I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm just going to screw this up. And they came in from a whole different area that they hardly ever come down through.
See,
I've never
yeah,
seen
we-
anyone come there before in 5 years.
We were both out the same day, and funny enough, because we hunt so close together, I heard him shoot. I heard him hit the deer. I heard the deer go down.
Yeah.
And at the same time, where I was at, I just got done talking to the landowners. He came out before I went out that night because I told him, like, hey, man, if you care if I set up some more cameras, because the deer are not moving like they did last year. They're moving way down here towards the back of the property. I was like, I want to get some cameras down there to see where they're coming from. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. Let's do whatever you want. So I went down there, scouted, figured out where I wanted to put my camera, got in the stand, sat there, and then the last 30 minutes illegal, the deer came from exactly where I told him. They have not come.
Of course.
And like it actually surprised me because one, it was driving me nuts because there were so many squirrels around me. I kept on like trying to look around, and then finally like it's weird how quiet but distinctive deer are when they walk.
Yeah. And
I could have swore, I was like, okay, that was different. So I turned, and then I just kind of saw like a shadow. And I was like, well, if that was a squirrel, that was a big squirrel.
That's Booter.
Yeah. And then I had a yearling run out, and I had another yearling run out, and I was like, okay, that's the 2 yearlings. I know that big doe that I've been trying to get is with them. And they came out of the swamp that I just got done telling the landowner, yeah, they don't go there no more.
Yeah.
There's no deer there.
And I'm like,
Deer don't live there.
I literally just put the camera on the exact opposite side of this property because I was getting nothing there.
No, they're just kicking you right now.
Well, the funny part of this was like the day before, he was like, I'm moving my stand down to that bottom. I was like, don't do that. I was like, you're going to chase these deer all season if you do that. I was like, go hang a camera, hang it on Monday, check it Friday, then make your decision.
Yeah.
And he's like, they didn't even come out where I thought they were going to come out. I'm like, see, aren't you happy you didn't move?
Well, like 2 days before that, when I was out, it was past legal light, and I was trying to get down, but I had some deer around me, and I didn't want to startle them. And as I'm sitting up there, I hear something probably where I'm at, probably 45 yards away, and I could still see shadows, and I counted 10 deer.
Wow.
In a row.
Wow.
And they were probably about 10 yards behind each other, so it was just... And then the field is about 35 yards in front of me, and they all just filled up on the field.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that just tells you not to put so much trust in your trail camera. And I'm in the same boat as you this year. I have our property down the... I have my camera on 2 scrapes that every year there's a scrape there. I have nothing. I mean, it's like I'll get 2 pictures a week or videos. And I've had a couple nice bucks, so I'm not getting anything. I haven't hunted there yet. My buddy Kyle went down last Saturday. Goes down. We haven't had crap on camera. He's had some deer, but all at night, nothing to write home about. Goes down and kills a big buck. He
was cool. That was a cool buck.
Yeah, he's seen like 12 deer or something. I mean, just said he had an amazing morning. Rattles in, seen this buck walking up on the ridge, rattled him in, kills him. And I'm like, I literally have a camera here, and he shot this buck right here.
Yep.
Never had a picture of him. We did earlier in the year. I had pictures,
but not recently.
You got to think, and I've just been like, I've been so bummed, and I've told him multiple times. I'm like, man, I'm not getting anything. Like, this is always a go-to spot. We always get deer there. We got to think. Your trail camera is looking at a 10-foot wide area at 10 yards or whatever the sensors are good for.
Yeah.
If those deer walk 10 yards behind it, or a yard behind it, you don't know. Or if they're 15 yards in front of it.
That happened when I was in the stand 2 weeks ago. So I pulled my card the one night, went home, looked at it. I came back to get in my stand. I put my card back in and got up in the stand.